Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Suruchi Hirawat, and this is my friend. He'll be joining us today is Nithya from Bangalore. Just like last time, we'll be talking about relationship. Before we start, let me introduce Nithya. Nithya is an author. She's a shamanic facilitator, access consciousness certified facilitator, talk to the entity facilitator, talk to the animal facilitator, and a founder of Unearth One Earth Spirit School of Evolution. Is that, I did it right? Yay! So Nithya, it's so nice. We've been having conversation on relationships. So we had two people prior to this. This is call number 3. So when we are talking about relationship, what is relationship for you?
What is a relationship for me is, I actually don't put so much energy into that word. It's just like, how can I be myself with everyone around me? Who am I at this moment is what I look at. And I don't try to add drama into it or say, because it's my son, I have to behave like this. Because it's my mom, I have to behave like this. With my mom, sometimes I still do. It's like, you have to, you can't get away with it. But otherwise, it's mostly about the relationship with myself. How am I feeling with myself at this moment? And am I not fighting with myself, which is something I've learned. Otherwise, I've been in a constant fight with myself all the time, right? Did I do this right? Did I do this wrong? What will this person think of me? What will happen there? Maybe I should have done this different. So I used to have a lot of thinking like that. But after finding access and doing a lot of spiritual modalities and different things, right now it's all about how I look at myself. I guess that's what a relationship is. And when you have that sort of peace with yourself, right? When I have that peace with myself, it kind of percolates. You have peace with everyone. You can literally get away with everyone treating you nicely. Most people treating you nicely.
Yeah, you so rightly said. We all go through this challenge of fitting in, trying to do things properly when compared to others. We all work in progress. So it's really nice to say, how's my relationship with myself today?
Yeah.
So it is a very beautiful way of looking at it. Like today, how is it? If it's good with yourself, you're good with others. If it's bad with your own self, I guess the fire or people will get on the other side. It's quite crazy. So,
yeah. It's so amazing. It's how you are looking at yourself is mostly what other people will also percolate, unless they are very mean or they're very different. It's a different story. But most people are like, if you're feeling bad about yourself, they're like, why are you looking bad? If you're like, am I tired? Someone will ask you, why are you looking so tired? And then if you're like, I'm on top of the world, people will be like, oh my God, you seem like you're much better. You seem like you're on the top of the world. So how would you like to, carry yourself? How would you like to be with yourself?
that's a beautiful way of putting this. It's really nice. So, Nithya, so you, if I have to, because I know you personally too, so I know a little bit background of yours. So, what was the biggest challenge, like in a society, when we get married? Like everybody's agenda, when you're a girl, especially, is to get your kids married, whether men or women, it doesn't matter. It's like marriage is the biggest agenda, right? Like, hey, get them married. Now you're settled. Now you should get married. The first thing after you pass your school, college, graduation, and you have a job is like the first thing people ask, like, hey, when are you getting married? Right? So we have been there, and that's the agenda we have grew up with. So I know you were married, and now I think your status is you're single.
Yeah.
Right? So how did you cope up? Like, was it a challenge? Can you talk about what tools did you use? Because it's like when anybody going through a separation, or when people are falling out in a relationship, the blame, it gets, sometimes it's really get dirty, blame game, shame, anger. And a lot of time from parents' side, it also comes like, hey, you should compromise because you also have a child, you should compromise and just underplay. How did you go about?
Oh, okay. See, it was very challenging, and it took 7 years for me to make that decision, make that. So it is not something that I took immediately. And I want to say, like, my whole point of view around separation has changed. So last week, one of my friends, she was like, I'm going to get divorced. And I said, congratulations. So it is a celebration. I mean, why isn't it celebrated as equal as marriage? If things are not working with you and someone else, what if you separate, you feel better, they feel better. So that's the first thing. And I was able to get that point of view only after I joined Access, and I started understanding about relationships. And when something is not working, why would I spend the rest of my life trying to make it work? At the end, you have to live for yourself too. You just can't live for others. And I have a son, and yes, the whole factor of don't separate because of the child needs a father, and all that did come. But I felt if I show my son, you can choose what gives you happiness, that would create more for him, rather than showing him that you have to live a life which you cannot get out if you're married. You cannot change if you're married. And why would my son have to see an unhappy marriage all of his life? Probably he can see that I'm much happier when I let go. And he will learn to choose for himself. And nothing is wrong, is what I want, is what, I was getting to the awareness of that. Yeah, let me separate now. And thankfully my son is doing really well, and he's like pretty happy with everything that's going on. And um, in my case, my mom was very supportive. Like I know a lot of people, their parents don't agree, they look at it as a taboo, and this is not something that you should do. In my case, but my mom and sister were very supportive. They were like, if you because if you're very clear and you convey with the kind of energy that this is the reason I want this, you can convince anyone. It's only when you are doubtful, and doubt will come because society will like, why, for what? And, and everyone tries to patch you back, you know.
So
So
true.
everyone who I was telling were like, hey, can I counsel you? Can I do this for you? Can you do this? Can you get back? Even in the court on the first day, they had a mediation. They're trying to talk us to get back together. So you have to be very clear, otherwise you can get confused. And it's not that I didn't give it time. So it's not like you just have to get separated for the sake of it. I gave it around 7 years, and I was like, I looked at it, how is it working? Is this choice working? Is that working? And that time I was very immature. So for the first 6 years or so, it was very immature. So it was more like I'm wrong, or he's a very bad person and all that. But then I evolved and I let go of all that, that it's not his fault, it's not my fault. And whatever struggles, right? Like when you talk about relationships, couples usually struggle with either money or careers or intimacy. So these are where the three areas where they keep struggling or they keep fighting over it. So I had given up the fight of money, I'd given up the fight of ego, all that. And all these tools amazingly helped me to believe that I'm an infinite being, to know that money will come to me. And I have an amazing relationship with money that's easier than people. Truly, it does not talk back to you or tell you
I
tell
also know, I also know you have such a beautiful relationship with animals. I think
yeah,
much better than human
true,
beings.
true, true. And also entities. So all
Yeah.
those things is much easier. So what if you can choose a relationship that works for you, that's easy for you, don't have to put you through things that are expectations, rejections? Because in this reality, a lot of relationships, people just think there's expectations because
So,
you're married.
Nithya, I really like the piece of advice that you gave to your son, like the choice, like, hey, I want him to see that he has a choice. He doesn't need to suffer, where he should choose happiness as a priority. And you became a walking, talking example. Very few parents do it because we all say it, but we do something different. And we have always, I have witnessed being a mother of two child, it's like what you do, they pick up that than what you say. So
Yes,
yes, it's very easy said than done, but you have walked your talk.
yes.
So it's really nice. So what is one tool that you can share, like if somebody is in the dilemma or in that space where the relationship is not working out for them, so what is the tool that they can use to get clarity? If you can share something that they can use.
Yeah. See, I think, again, it comes back to relationship of self. So we can ask, who am I being at this moment that is making this not work? That's a tool which, because separation is about who you are being. All relationships is about who you're being. I've seen many people who get a divorce and then they remarry and then they end up having the same problem.
Yeah.
And it's
So
happened up to 3 times also, even the third divorce. So if you don't fix that point of view in yourself, which caused the problem, it's going to come again. And I think we've seen this again and again, right? It's like you have that point of view. This is your reality. It's not the other person. It's not. You thought that if you get divorced, all your problems are solved. No, if you haven't changed yourself, it persists in the next relationship. So who am I being that is not allowing this to work? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And truly, what do I desire? It's not wrong not to have a relationship, especially if it feels like, for me, it felt like really hard work. I was like, so much hard work. And I actually was like, it depends on the maturity of the person also. So at one point I was like, I can take care of one son. I can't take care of one son and one really big son. Yeah, two kids. I can't. I don't want to. I can sign up for one kid. So it comes down to and space also. So at the end of it, I had worked on myself so much that I let go anything that was causing problems, whether it was ego, whether it was money, whether it was space. So I learned to take my own space rather than go into the thing that I can't do this because of my husband. I can't do this because this person won't allow me. I was like, what if this is what I really want to do and I can authentically carry it. So I was able to get my space also. I was like, I'm going to do this. You're not going to stop me. Not anymore. You might have stopped me for 6 years, not anymore. And I put my foot down. If you're going to stop me this anymore, you can leave. And then it would like, okay, fine. And when I meant it, it would like, okay, fine, you can take it. So at the end, it all came down to a small choice as to, I just felt I require more space. It'll be so much better if I come home and just see myself instead of someone who's like expecting something or in this norm of you have to do this for me. I felt it was just easier to be there with myself. And that's when I made the choice. It was not because of any of the other things. Because if and it's not wrong if you want to leave a relationship because of money. It's not wrong, guys. You can. It's your choice. Or you want to leave a relationship because they're not giving you space or it's abusive. It's not wrong. But if you do not change that part of you, which is attracting the abuse or attracting the lack, then it kind of percolates. So who am I being that is not able to sort this out? Or who am I being that's not able to change this? Those questions.
So true. Thank you so much. It's very interesting, like when you said, who are you being? Because a lot of time it is also from the spaces like how you said, beautifully said, like people go through the same pattern. It's like a pattern that repeats itself. And why is it repeating? Because we have a certain point of view that is like not contributive. And unless you don't heal that aspect of us,
yes,
we kind of recreate it with different relationships and things like that. So yeah. So now coming fast forward, I know you've been it's like it's your journey, or you've been an author, you have opened up, you have founded a school, so you're doing so well for yourself. So I wanted to then ask is like, what? So are you looking for a relationship now? Are you willing to invest your time now in another relationship? Let me ask that.
I invest my time constantly in bettering myself.
Yeah, just 4 o'clock, there is one started one session.
I wonder
In constantly, yeah.
Okay. I wonder how people it's very interesting, sorry, because I thought we just having you and me are having a conversation.
So I forwarded to people. I thought it was like available.
No, that's okay, that's perfectly fine, because people had asked me, hey, can we get the Zoom? How do we? I said, so maybe this is how it was. We can ask these people to ask you question later on, since they have popped on, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, so like I said, I invest in myself. I look at like everyone, literally everyone I'm meeting shows me how my relationship is, right? So I really enjoyed spending time with friends a lot. Those relationships give me so much meaning. I love spending time with animals. That relationship is something else. It's a magical thing beyond everything else. And how my dog is so calm, and people are like, I've never seen a husky that is this calm, because that's how I am. And I'm like, okay, my dog shows me how I can be, what I'm being. And horses show you what you're doing. So I constantly invest. And I go and look at things which you don't have to, because I want to see how I am. And then it shows, hey, you didn't let this go. Okay, you're still limited here. And I'm like, okay, I'll go after that. I invest a lot in myself. I try to make things great with my mother, because that comes from so many points of views. So I do invest in relationships a lot. It's not that I'm looking or not looking. I'm open. And I just believe like whatever is the greatest for me, let it show up, however. So that's.
So, what is a tip if somebody has to have a great relationship with the animal, because you have a beautiful relationship with animal. Like I remember calling you 1,000 times and asking about a lot of animals.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of people are fearful with animal, they want to have a relationship, but it's again. So, what is your take on that?
I think you have to understand the masterpiece that creation has done with animals. They just be themselves, and they are not looking for validation or things like that. So much to learn from them. And if you do not fear them, because this is what how animals think, right? If you look at a snake and you're afraid, the snake is afraid that you are afraid of it. Because if you are afraid of a snake, it's going to think, what if you kill me? Right? Because when the frog is afraid of the snake is ready to eat the frog. So if it sees something bigger than it that is afraid of it, what is it going to think? And the horse, actually, they think humans are a little superior because we've domesticated horses and come and work with me. And then if you're afraid, the horse is like, what is this person afraid of? This person is afraid of something. Why am I not afraid? And this person is superior and he's so afraid or she's so afraid, then I have to be afraid. And then the horse panics. And the dog is like, a keeper, right? It's like a watchdog. It's like protective. And if you go and have fear of the dog is like, is this person trying to steal something? Is that why they're afraid? Why are they afraid of me? So when you show fear to any animals, they're not going to reciprocate it with love, or they're going to just show you what you are. So do not fear them and just be present with them. What if you don't have to fear them? What if they're actually not interested in you? Except dogs, none of the animals are actually interested in you, or they don't want to come and lick you or play with you. It's we who want to go and play with them, right? If like we were seeing some crocodiles and they were like, go away from me. We were driving in the boat and the crocodile was going in the opposite direction. It wasn't like, I want to come with you. I want to see you. They're not actually interested in you, even snakes. So if a snake sees you, it's going to leave. Rather than you going and calling it and it coming and biting you, it's more likely to leave you alone. So what if you don't fear them? Because fear is what will make them think in some different ways and make them think that you're inferior or things like that. So don't fear them and just be present. And then if you understand, this is like, there's a word, people have talents, right? And when you see a musician playing his best, it's like he's expressing the best of himself. It's like a form of divinity that shows up, or something like so engaging, like, wow, how is this person? And that's what one person said, when you use your talent to your best, you're connected with everything in the universe. You are so present and you're so engaged that you can pull everyone towards you. And every animal at every time is just doing that action of being the best of its talent at all times. They don't just see, if you can get pleasure by looking at someone work so efficiently, because I used to work in the IT industry also, and I've done day jobs 9 to 5 and no, actually 9 to 10, like 12 hours, 13 hours jobs. So when I look at someone work so well, I'm amazed, wow, how talented and dedicated is this person? So talent and dedication put together, you can look at the animals. They use their talents. They just be themselves in such a way that they express the best of themselves. It's a different, when you look at it from that way, it's so different. Then you would not fear animals, or you wouldn't have anything against them. And what can you learn from them? There's so many things you can learn from. I learned from my dog, how he's listening, how he's not listening, and how you can improve. So I looked at my dog and said, can you keep everything clean? And this is so funny. I was like, hey, keep yourself clean, keep the surroundings clean. So what he did is he pooped and then he ate it off because he kept it clean. And that was not my intention at all. So then I had to retrain him, how they literally listen to you. And it's just a magical world. That's all I can say. If you guys have a fear and you're stopping yourself, you're actually losing out on life, on getting what is that presence, and how you can get inspired by someone being so talented and present at the same time. And a lot of humans also do that. And I get really inspired by when someone is like that. It's like something else. Just watching it, being with it. You don't have to touch them if you don't want to. Just watch them, observe them. So many things to do with animals.
It's so beautiful the way you explain relationship with animal, or you spoke about animal. It's completely different perspective to look at it. So thank you so much for sharing. It's
You're
like an
welcome.
insight. It's like so beautiful. And how you said it's the same thing, right? It's like when you emit fear, and because of their point of view that you're bigger than, superior than them, and then they are fearful. I think the same goes with our relationship with people also, right? That's how we create a judgment and everything, because whomever we made superior in our life, and
Yeah.
how they react, we bound to react in the same way without even asking.
Yeah.
And that relates to your first thing, is like, who am I being, or what is my relationship with myself? Because then just changes the whole perspective of how we look at things in
True.
life.
And I would like to add to that, because you can't actually change anyone else. You can't go and change, like, hey, let my mom change. Hey, you guys, you change. You working with me, you change. Or even my dog, I'm like, you change. You can only change yourself.
But I like the piece. Hey, keep it clean. This is
That's
very
so fun. Yeah, and I learned from that, and he actually did.
It's so beautiful. It's really beautiful. Okay, so I have quick question. You can use your head. Given a
Okay.
choice, which actor do you like? Okay, let's meet. Which
Ritik
is
Roshan.
Hrithik Roshan. Given a choice, a date with Hrithik Roshan, okay, a day in wildlife, all by yourself. What will you choose?
Wildlife.
Oh shit. Okay. Spending time, spending time with animals, or teaching kids. What will you choose?
Animals. Easier.
Oh,
I can do both. I don't mind
yeah,
kids too.
I know. I'm just okay. What else can I ask you? Where can I trick you? Okay, so if somebody is flirting with you in the
Okay.
same, and so how it's like, what will, even if you don't want, what is the first excuse that you'll come up with?
Oh, okay. I won't even know they're flirting. I'm that bad. If I get to know they're flirting, then I will like think of something.
Oh my god!
I
Don't
wouldn't
tell
come to
me.
know.
You know so much insight of animal, and you're saying you will not get to know if somebody's flirting with you.
You know, I have to work on that. I'll probably work on that.
Interesting.
I'm
Okay.
that bad. Look, I wouldn't know for days, and then someone has to come and tell me, "Didn't you know that that person was flirting with you?" I was like, "Really? I don't think so." Then they were like, then they're like, "Oh my god, how could you not know?" I'm like, "No, I'm so much in allowance. Like normal people can talk like this or this or that." So anyway,
Okay. So, what is your, in relationship? What is your weakness?
weakness.
Yeah.
I don't. I actually. I don't know actually. Uh, Sometimes yeah, I do judge. Sometimes I'm like, let me just cut off this person. I don't have to put up with all of this anymore. And sometimes I'm in allowance. Let me just be. Or sometimes I'm like, let me work on it. So I do have a lot of places to work on. If you start working with consciousness, there's so much to clear. I mean, you would have cleared godzillion things, and there's still so much. So yes,
I
there are still things, there are still triggers in relationships, a little with my mom, getting better day by day. And then, if some friend had cut you off, and then someone in the today is like just feeling like that friend, I do get triggered. So I guess triggering is still there, but how do I get present and change it?
So, what tools do you use when you get triggered in the moment? What is your go-to tool?
When I get triggered, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And why would I choose to be unkind? Not so I'm like, who am I being that's unkind to myself? Because if I get triggered and I react to it, it's such an unkindness to my body more than anything else. It's like my body gets stressed when I'm like, I hate this person. This should, not, this shouldn't be like this, or this person should change. Just look at the amount of stress it's on your body. So I'm just taking this whole thing of, can I be kind to myself?
It's such a beautiful way, because we have learned how to be kind to others, but being kind to ourselves is like a torture which we feel we have to go through. We have to be kind to ourselves.
Don't tell me. I know it's that's how we've been brought up.
Yeah.
But what if your body will do its best when you're really kind to it, and being unkind to your body is not contributive to your body at all.
So true. So true. That's really inspiring. Okay.
Thank you.
So, any questions, since we have people who joined us? Anybody has any question for Nithya? If you would like to ask, please unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, and Suruchi can also answer. It's not that I have to.
No, it's your show.
Is my
Please.
show? Okay.
I will ask you the last question. Who do you see behind me?
Okay.
So, anybody has any question that they would like to be asked? So, meanwhile, I think people are taking their time to come up. So, if you have to give a piece of advice to your son, I think, how old is your son? 8, 10?
He's 11.
11, yeah. So, what is a piece of advice will you give to him when it comes to relationship? What piece of advice will you give to him?
As if he listens to me anymore.
Whatever, we can assume that he listens. So yes.
I'll just tell him to choose what works for him. Choose whatever works for him. And I guess he has to learn from what he's going through, not from my experiences, but from what he's going through. So I'm like, I just want him to be able to choose for himself. And that's the whole way of, what would you like to choose here? What will this choice create for you? And he uses the tools like interesting point of view. So I guess what makes sense for him.
Yeah, great. No, it's very interesting because maybe after some time he'll come and say, Mama, that guy was flirting with you, and you'll be like, really?
I hope not. Oh.
It'll be so nice to see that.
Okay.
I'm just tripping on it. So
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So no, because it's so beautiful because what you said and the beauty behind is like when we see animals with such an unconditional space, right? We are not judgment. So somewhere when people are being that, we just assume that they're being nice and sweet without any ulterior motive of flirt or anything. So it becomes blank in that way because you are not seeing them based on the computation of a mind which a human being go through when they deal with other sexes or same sexes, whatever the relationship status is. But I think, yeah, it actually comes from the space because when you're too much with animals and the beauty, like how you said, learning and listening, so everything, people also look like animal and we like them.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. It's really really beautiful. So all those people, I guess, if you are struggling and you require clarity with your relationship status or loving yourself and not being unkind for yourself, you can definitely reach out to Nithya. She's in Bangalore. You met her. She's an amazing personality, a beautiful person, and I think someone who really has your back.
Thank you.
So, so it's really nice. And Nithya, if they have to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so my website is nithyachalam.com and my contact details are there. So my phone number is there. You can email me through that. You can also call me directly. I'm better at WhatsApp rather than picking up calls or looking at emails. WhatsApp is the best way to contact me and you can find it on my website. I can give you my number. It's just like really big to say right now. So.
No, it's perfectly fine. I think they can reach out to you on your website and think Nithya Chalam. So yes. And any parting words, any last message, anything that comes up that you would like to share?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So my organization is Unearth One Earth. And I just wanted, my whole vision is Unearth means find. One Earth is oneness on Earth. So would you guys like to find one Earth, like we're all on the same planet? Would you like to treat it as though it's yours and contribute to it? So it's all one Earth. Why are we fighting when all of us have access to it? Oneness. And it's a spirit school of evolution. So it's not a school as such, but you will learn a lot and you will learn how to evolve. So would you like to evolve with your own spirit, knowing your own being? Spirit means being. Would you like to know yourself and evolve? And evolution for me is not better. Evolution is a seed becoming a tree, Would you like to change like that? Rather than just becoming better than who you were yesterday, how would you like to evolve? And nature is full of evolution. All species evolve. It's everything in nature is constantly evolving. So are we. So those are things you can look at. Even your relationships can evolve. And like I said, if you're planning to get divorced, good choice. Congratulations. If you've got divorced, let's remove that whole stigma around it's bad to be separated, especially for women. It's as if you've done the biggest mistake. And it's okay. People do look at me, you're divorced. Have you done such a big mistake? I'm okay with it. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. What matters is, am I happy now?
It's so true. Please count your happiness and actually choose happiness over everything, because we learn from our mistakes. And I think mistakes is a part of growing up. Like we all stumble, we all fail, we all walk. But the end of the day is like, you have to pick up yourself.
You have to be there for yourself. You have to have your own back. That's when the relationship with anyone will work. So why have we been taught not to trust ourselves? And when I had to do something like a divorce, I had to trust myself so much. Otherwise you can't do it. So what if this is another thing from animals, right? How they trust themselves. There's no one animal that doesn't trust themselves. So what if you can just trust yourself, be there for yourself, acknowledge yourself, and things start working magically.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you so much for the insight. It's amazing. It's a completely different way of looking at animals. I think now I'm going to look and learn. It's like, what's animal teaching? What can I learn from this animal?
Yeah.
So yes, it's really beautiful. So thank you so much for hopping on this call. Thank you taking the time out and sharing. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm always happy to talk with you, Suruchi. It's so fun. It's always really fun talking with you. And I'm happy you invited me. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. Before I end the call, is there, Rama, Parul, is there any question you guys have? You can ask. You can use the space and ask. Okay.
Thank you, Suruchi. Thank you, Nithya.
Thank you,
and
Parul.
We know Nithya very well. She's always a contribution to everyone. Thank you, Suruchi. You too.
Yeah, thank you so much. So thank you so much, Nithya.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
See you guys next Wednesday with another speaker. And if you have any question, please do message me. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.